When you search the internet, you find hundreds and thousands of photos of white cops beating, brutalizing, strangling, and killing black people. From the children to the elderly. Men, women, boys, girls, it doesn't matter to them. And it seems as if these white cops are intent on showing black people that no matter how you complain, how you try to get legislation put in, laws, we are going to show you that we are going to do with you what we want. Since George Floyd's murder, and since all of the negative attention that's been brought up on the police department, you would think that police officers would stop. But it has increased. It hasn't stopped. And as I think about this, I always end up to this one particular question that I ask. Is violence our way out? I mean, black people have prayed and prayed hard. Black people seek the right to vote. They thought that would help, and it didn't help. Black people felt as if, hey, if we get us some congressmen and senators, that may help. It hasn't helped. We have black judges. We even have black police officers. And it has not helped at all. And as I think back, it seems as if the only time that white people listen or take notice to what black people are saying is when violence occurs. And so it is an honest question. Is violence the only option for black people to gain justice? The leaders of this land, they pretend as if their hands are tied. There's nothing we could do to help black people. And let's put this in mind. No one is advocating violence. Why do you think black people are trying to vote on it, trying to march about it? Black people have done everything except resort to violence. At least in this era. When you look at history, I don't care what point in time, when the people became fed up and upset with the leadership, that was violence. The wealth gap today is too large. They're squawking about, $15 an hour for a job, which is still being in poverty. Because with the cost of living today, $25 an hour won't take you very far. So the people are hurting, the people are upset, and the people on top, hey, they're just going to ignore the people on the bottom. And when you look in history, that is a recipe for a disaster. And as I said, this is one conversation that black people always try to avoid. We just hate to go there. But When you look at the options that black people have, what other options do they have? When the conversation was brought up a few times, the first thing that comes out of people's mouths is say, hey man, it is going to be a massacre. Black people will be annihilated. Well, what do you think is happening now? I mean, every time I look up on television, some black person is getting killed by a cop. And no matter what type of evidence, proof, witnesses, body cams, cell phone footage, whatever they have, they say, don't believe what you say or what you see, believe what we say. Your eyes are fooling you. The police officer was justified in taking a person's life, and especially if that person is black. The question is, do people honestly believe that black people are going to stand by and wait to be picked off one by one? One way I think that black people could avoid having to use violence in order to gain some type of rights is we have to find a way to work around black people that undermine us. The black people that get on the television and say that there is no racism. The black people that get on the television and say that a black person was wrong when he encountered a cop. Why come they just don't comply? Do what the officer says. If we can get around those type black people, I think we can get somewhere. We wouldn't have to resort to any type of violence. Because as long as you have a black person telling some white person, hey, there are no problems, those Negroes are just lazy and want to complain. They want things given to them. They don't want to work like me, boss. So what else is these white people to think? And the problems with the black people, period, has always been the black people that undermine them, the coons. We've all heard the stories during slavery, when you had some coon who overheard the other slaves talking about leaving, and he went and told Massa. We've always had that problem. I hear young people talking about the people of the past and why the people back then didn't do nothing to change nothing because how they're living today. The problems that black people had in the past are the problems that black people are having today, the coons. And the police killings. Just like the police are killing people today, what do you think they did to the riders back in the day? They killed them. The ones that they didn't kill, they locked them up 40, 50 years. They separated them from the black community. And the same thing we're having today with these coons that are amongst us, the Charles Barkley types. So that's what happened during the 60s and 70s. That's why we couldn't gain any ground, because of the coons like that you young people have to deal with today. So the problem is just not white supremacy just by itself. White supremacy has help. And this is a problem that black people themselves, we just got to deal with this problem ourselves. We can't look for legislation, votes. We can't look for that. We can't look for someone else to help us with this problem, because that means that you can't solve your own problems. And the problems that black people are having are easily solved. We just kind of refuse to go there. But at some point in time, we will have to go there because our survival depends on it. With all the evidence of racism, why would a black person, of all people, say that there is no racism? You even had Kamala Harris come up and say that there is no racism. And if black people pay attention, these people are not from America. These are people who has family from India and all these other foreign countries, but they are not part of us. We have the same skin color, but we don't have the same heart. And since these people always want to step up to the mic and speak for us, how do we deal with people like them? What is the plan for telling these coon types, hey man, look, you got to stop speaking for us in that manner. The thing that you say are hurting black people, and you got to stop it. How can we deliver that message to those people? I mean, can we talk to people like that are black? Or again, is violence the only option? Because I'm quite sure that they know the damage that their words are doing to black people in general, to black society, to the black community. But they have this big protective brick wall called white supremacy, which they hide behind. And how can we as black people break down this protective wall that black people that undermine other black people have? You know, I try to be a person that has understanding. And I try to understand these coons. Okay, you may have not been reared around the type of black people that you speak ill about. Your experiences are different. So you should not be trying to speak for all black people. Just say, hey man, look, from the side of the fence that I'm from, this is how I feel. But I can understand why black people might not feel the way I feel because they didn't have my same experience. Now I'm gonna tell you another thing that I have noticed about these coonish type black men. They all have a pointy head. I mean, when you look at those guys, they all resemble each other. Same type of smile, the same bucking eyes, and the same pointy head. If we have another option other than violence, then exactly what is it? If someone has that answer, please tell me. How can we stop cops from killing black people other than physically intervening and stopping them? What exactly can be done? The small amount of time that they're giving these cops for killing black people, some cops are willing to go and do the time. I mean, exactly what are our options? I've heard people during the trial of George Floyd say that, hey man, they wish that they would have intervened. I mean, and we know what is going to be the outcome of that. Here comes the National Guards. I mean, every time they think black people are about to do something, here comes the National Guards. Yeah, they want to wipe us out using the National Guards, but will they do it? I don't really think it would happen. But it just seems that Every time they do something that they know that black people become upset about, here comes the National Guards. And what exactly are they guarding? And someone please explain to me what the hell is a peaceful protest? What exactly are you protesting? To whereas you have to have peace when you do it. I mean, aren't you protesting because you're upset about something bad that is happening to you? And how can you do that? That's the problem I just don't understand. Is that we have too many dignified black people amongst us. Something very bad has happened to us, and we still have to remain dignified. I mean, what they say is, hey, I mean, we know you did you wrong, and if you want to complain about it, you can, but guess what? You better do it peacefully. I don't understand that. So believe me, I'm not advocating violence. But what I am doing is bring up some questions. Because, I mean, if you're abusing people out there, if it is a fact that white people are abusing black people, and black people have prayed, voted, boycott, protested, went to all these different political leaders, and nothing seems to solve that problem. What other option do black people have? And if you think that black people are just going to lay it down, just going to give up the ghost, you got another thing coming.